Our reading this morning is from John. It's chapter 8, verses 2 to 12. Early in the morning, he came again to the temple. All the people came to him, and he sat down and began to teach them. The scribes and the Pharisees brought in a woman who'd been caught in adultery. And making her stand before all of them, they said to him, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the very act of committing adultery. Now in the law, Moses commanded us to stone such women. Now, what do you say?" They said this to test him, so they might have some charge to bring against him. Jesus bent down and wrote with his finger on the ground. When they kept on questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, "Let anyone among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." And once again he bent down and wrote on the ground. When they heard it, they went away, one by one, beginning with the elders. And Jesus was left alone with the woman standing before him. Jesus straightened up and said to her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She said, "No one, sir." And Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go your way, and from now on do not sin again." Again Jesus spoke to them, saying, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life."
Jesus saves. But what does he save us from? More often than not, he saves us from ourselves. Anger is powerful. Anger can be enjoyable. Anger can be dangerous. Anger can be useful. Anger can lead to a moment of clarity, of honesty. When a wife tells her husband a hard truth about his behavior, that anger can focus both of them on saving the marriage. But anger can go too far, and anger can destroy. It can divide. It can punish. Anger can make you feel righteous, but then it goes over the line and becomes self-righteous, and you become a monster. If your idea of justice is to punish someone for his or her mistake, then your judgment comes at the price of your compassion and also your soul. Judge not, for someday you will be judged too. The Gospel of John is different than the other three. Anybody who's read even a little bit notices the difference. I had to warm up to the strangeness of the Gospel of John, but it was the storytelling that did it. No one in the Gospels tells a better story than the author of the Gospel of John. There are 4 stories about women, and they are all astonishing. They all hit you in the heart by just a few words. They tell you a lot about us, and they tell you a lot about Jesus. And they tell you a lot about how Jesus saves. Our story for today, and I'm sure some of you already got it, is a story for this moment in America. An unnamed woman is put to shame in the public square. she will be executed. It is called the woman caught in adultery. But is she really the one who's guilty of something here? Isn't it really the story of the accusing elders? Now, to be sure, in the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 10, we read that a man caught in adultery with a married woman will be stoned to death along with her. It is a harsh sentence. But I've looked long and deeply, and I find no evidence in Jewish history that this punishment actually happened. But the real question that's hanging, where is the man who was also caught in the act of adultery? What game are these accusing elders playing? They wanted to trap Jesus. How? Roman law, and remember that Israel is now occupied by Rome, its troops, its governors. Roman law did not permit execution for adultery. Leviticus did. Would Jesus choose Roman law over Jewish law? Would he side with the hated Romans over his own people? Oh, how they underestimated Jesus. He's too smart and too aware of their malice to be caught in their trap. Oh, the elders are self-righteous. They would quote the law. How they proclaimed their duty, pointing her out, putting her in the center alone to shame her. What was she thinking? She must be punished. This is a Jesus moment when his genius and his compassion come pouring out. This is how Jesus, with just a few words, holds up a mirror to them, to the woman, and to us. Now, change a few words, and we have instead, well, she's to blame for her own pregnancy. She has to pay the price. Jesus scribbles in the sand with his finger. And when they insist on an answer, he speaks. Whoever is without sin, let him throw the first stone. Gotcha. And they know it. Their anger subsides. Their trap is covered. Jesus has stepped to the side. And when the accusers leave, caught in their own angry, deceiving game, Jesus stands, rubbing the sand from his hands after erasing the words that he had written, and turns to the woman. Is there no one here to accuse you? And finally she speaks. No, she says. Then Jesus says, neither do I. Go and live your life and sin no more. Clean slate. Because of Jesus, everyone, the accusers, the woman, the watching crowd, learned a lesson. And no one died that day. They all went home saved. In Jesus' kingdom, the will of God is clear, that compassion triumphs over punishment. We cannot say we love God without saying we love our neighbor. You cannot have one the first without the other, the second. And how we love is determined by our willingness to see and to feel with compassion. For we are always most dangerous when we think that we are absolutely right.